I think the thing that Trump was most perturbed about, me asking him to be my vice president, I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence. So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is, you'll still have your lawyer list. And when all the lawyers said, forget it, Trump's done, there were loyalists running up in the White House, right? And my question would be, why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January 6ers? And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from.
Kanye West. Apparently Ye is running for president in 2024. That's the beginning of one of these 3 videos he put out over the weekend announcing in some kind of way, shape or form that he's Ye 24. That was the beginning of one of those. We're gonna get into that guy that was standing there hyping him up. But Ye was going in talking about this meeting with Donald Trump where I told him this and I told him that. It's craziness. Let's let him continue with that.
He basically gives me this would-be mob-esque kind of story, talking to some kid from the south side of Chicago trying to sound mobby or whatever. He goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim, but he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a you could tell her I said that. And I was thinking like, that's the mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're gonna demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was gonna lose, I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history?
You're gonna lose. Tell him he's gonna lose.
I'm like, well, hold on, Trump. You're talking to Ye.
Oh, my bad. You're talking to Ye. First of all, I want to pause here for a second. The fact that Kanye is talking about the meeting he had with Trump, the things that went down, the stuff that he said about my wife, even though I kind of hate her, love her somewhat, I don't know. But also, after you go through all of this, he is willing to do a similar thing that Donald Trump is willing to do. This is probably the problem that Ye is gonna have, or that the Republicans or anyone surrounding themselves with him is gonna have, is he has said it before. He goes, I'm gonna say names, I'm gonna call everybody out. We're going up. Donald Trump is the same type of person, and that's the threat that he's holding over the Republican Party as well, as they begin to try and detach from him. But let's go to that one part really fast there, where he said, he talked about my wife and they bleeped him out, Jessica. Did you understand what he said? Because I did, and I think that was on purpose.
I did not understand what was said there.
It was, Kim is a disgusting human being, and they made sure you could kind of hear it if you really wanted to listen to it, as they halfway bleeped and then partially, like they more lowered his voice rather than eliminate it. It's very simple to do that, but they still kind of wanted it to go out. Maybe that's a tactic. Either way it goes, that's the disgusting human being. That's my ex-wife, okay, or my wife, mother of my children, and all that. It gets worse though. Part of this entourage just showed up to meet with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, included some figures like this.
Wait, that's Kanye? Yo. No, it's yo. Wait, that's Kanye? Yo.
I feel like a lot of celebrities, they're face of a brand, whereas Kanye is actually working with the brand. You know what I mean?
The difference between them and him is he's a real human being.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was Milo Yiannopoulos at the end, and walking through the airport with matching blue. There's Nick Fuentes rolling with Kanye West. If you think anything about what Kanye West used to be or what he used to talk about, you'd understand how ridiculous this whole thing is. But that was the scene of the meeting. That's who went in to talk to Donald Trump. Just in case you guys don't know exactly everything Nick Fuentes stands for, who Ye was walking in the airport with. Here's a little taste. Let's watch this.
Trump went up there and said, they're bringing drugs, crime, they're rapists. You know, he said, I'm calling for a shutdown of Muslims coming into America. You know, we're going to say Merry Christmas. He was like this close to saying the N-word. You know, like, that's what Americans want. That's what this guy talks like us. He's our hero. He said, I'm your voice.
Abortion's popular. Sodomy's popular. You know, being gay is popular. Being a feminist is popular. Sex out of wedlock is popular. Contraceptives it's all popular. And it sucks and it is what it is, but that's why we need dictatorship. That's unironically why we need to get rid of all that. We need to take control of the media or take control of the government and force the people to believe what we believe or force them to play by our rules and reshape the society. 9 in 10 blacks vote for Democrats. Why do they do that? God only knows. Why do they play the knockout game? Why do they punch white people in the street for no reason? Why do they rob 5 7-Elevens in 30 minutes? Why do they walk around with their pants around their ankles? I don't know. Just send the military in. Do what must be done. Send the military into these black neighborhoods. Make the streets safe. They'll complain about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're never going to vote for us.
Matter, Jess. Okay, so this is the scene of the meeting. Donald Trump did respond. We'll get to that in a second, but I feel like I've stacked plenty of things already. What's your thoughts on what's going on so far with this meeting and what exactly it means for the future? Who's running for president? How this is going to shake out? Who knows?
It's just sad that Kanye West is the same guy who interrupted the telethon with George Bush doesn't care about black people. And this is who he's keeping the company of, people like Nick Fuentes. And listen, Kanye is someone who can afford top consultants, right? He's got tons of money. If he was very serious about wanting to gain political power, he would know that it's not popular at this point in time in the United States to say that you want a Christian nationalist state. That might be popular in some very specific districts, but nationally that is not popular. And to say you want the January 6th insurrectionists to be free, also not popular. We just saw in the midterms so many people who were advocating for election fraud, saying the 2020 election was stolen and we might have election fraud again. Those people lost overwhelmingly. So Kanye is not serious about his political ambitions, because I've heard this theory that Ye is just running so that he can eventually get to power off of these ideas and get these people to vote for him and then govern completely differently. You guys are giving him way too much credit. He has lost his mind. He is living off of his ego, and it's really clear.
How does that make any sense? It's like if you grasp whatever you can. You know, I was a fan of Ye when he was seemed more sane too. It's okay. It's okay. You can say, man, I love that guy's music. He said so many things. As a matter of fact, there's a reason why you loved his music and why it's so much opposite to the things that he's saying, espousing now, and the people he's hanging out with. It's okay. That's his life. That's what he's doing. You don't have to identify with him because you liked his lyrics and his beats. It's okay, bro. Just calm down. We have this weird obsession with making sure we connect to him, even when he's doing ridiculous things. Let's jump down to this graphic from Donald Trump responding to the little bit of the fallout from this whole thing, and people pointing out, wait, what? Graphic 3, you guys. He jumped over on Truth Social, said all these things. He says, this past week, Kanye West called me to have dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Shortly after, he unexpectedly showed up with 3 of his friends whom I knew nothing about. Sure. We had dinner on Tuesday evening with many members present on the back patio. The dinner was quick and uneventful. They then left for the airport. That's all that happened. Oh, that's why he then truthed this too. Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, someone told him, hey, he goes by Ye now, was asking me for advice concerning some of his difficulties, in particular having to do with his business. Wrong guy to go to, Ye. We also discussed to a lesser extent politics, where I told him he should definitely not run for president. Any voters you may have should vote for Trump. Anyway, we got along great. He expressed no anti-Semitism, and I appreciated all of the nice things he said about me on Tucker Carlson. Why wouldn't I agree to meet? Also, I didn't know Nick Fuentes. First of all, that whenever you have to say twice, he says, I know these people I was meeting with. Also, I did know Nick Fuentes. That was one of the people you met with. You don't have to say it twice, unless you're lying. There's more, and this is when it really gets kind of ridiculous, as if it wasn't enough already. He said, so I help a seriously troubled man who just happens to be black, Ye, Kanye West, who has been decimated in his business and virtually everything else, and who has always been good to me by allowing his request for a meeting at Mar-a-Lago alone so that I can give him very much needed, quote, advice. He shows up with 3 people, 2 of which I didn't know, and the other political person who I haven't seen in years. I told him, don't run for office, a total waste of time, can't win, fake news, went crazy. Man, he's really defensive, Burbank. He has to say 3 different times in 3 different messages on Dumbass Truth Social. I don't know this guy. I kind of knew that guy, but then I met that guy later. And then 4th, I knew him, but then I didn't know him. And I kind of Kanye, but then Ye, businesses, he sucks, maybe he shouldn't run. I have a feeling that this argument did happen. He did get upset that he said, hey, be my running mate and all that stuff. But now comes the point of the popcorn eating and the movie watching and the drama where they start really exposing what each of them said and what them has been doing in front of them. I don't know if that's gonna be entertaining. I'm not sure if that's gonna be devastating, but I kind of don't want any of it to happen.
Right, I didn't think there would be a more interesting Republican Party or primary than in 2016. I thought that the candidates were as bad as they could get, really, and it couldn't get any worse. People like Ted Cruz arguing with Donald Trump. I was like, this is ridiculous. What is the state of American politics? And here we are, where we've got Kanye West, Ron DeSantis, and Trump, and they're already scrapping, which is absurd. And they're not scrapping about anything meaningful. And the one thing I'm disappointed about here is we didn't get a good nickname for Ye. We got Ron DeSanctimonious. Trump clearly has his sights set on Ye. He's very jealous of all of the media attention he's getting. What's the Ye nickname gonna be? I need to know. We need it from Trump.
I'm mad I didn't even think about that. It's coming. If Ye keeps talking, then we'll get that next step coming. It's madness. It's the Republican Party in America in 2022.